And now, sports with Chelsa Messenger.
Welcome back and welcome to Sports.
Well, it's the last and final day of SEC Media Days 2013. It seems like he's more comfortable, and you definitely saw that tonight. In the first half alone, he had 2 touchdowns and a couple of breakout runs for first down.
Well, speaking of fabulous, the Braves just cruising along. They've got the best record in the National League, lead the majors in team ERA.
And because of that, Washington State has decided to come to Auburn a day early.
Alabama just winning the national title and winning it big.
Well, another year, another national championship trophy for Alabama. It's college football's biggest preseason party, and it started off coverage with a bang early this morning when Texas A&M quarterback Johnny Manziel took the podium.
That's right, guys. Tonight, a special edition of sports coming to you live from the National Infantry Museum. Alabama has already used their best relief pitchers. Jay Shaw coming in long relief yesterday.
And also 0 turnovers, and that was something the Bulldogs struggled with early on in the season.
However, being at home could help. At Turner Field, Huddy is 3-0. Reporting in Miami for Georgia First Sports, I'm Chelsa Messenger. Well, Coach Charles Flowers is known around Columbus as one of the best high school coaches in the business. In 21 years of coaching, he's 161 and 82 with 3 state titles. You got 2 in baseball and 1 in football. But after he was fired from Troup County, Flowers was forced to take a new path.
My strong side, outside linebacker here.
It's 8:30 a.m. and Smith Station coach Charles Flowers is doing what he loves.
If you don't have a passion for the game, you don't need to do it.
After winning 3 state titles at Shaw High School, Flowers is somewhat of a coaching legend around Columbus. But you won't find him here on the manicured grass at Smith Station High School. Instead, he's here on a baseball practice field behind Smith Station Middle School. Charles Flowers is the head coach of the Smith Station freshman football team.
I don't have an ego. A lot of people have egos when it comes to coaching, and they want to be a coordinator, they want to be a head coach, and want to be this, that, and the other, but I've experienced it all.
And he does mean it all. Back in 2012, Flowers' legacy was threatened. He was fired at Troup County High School amid allegations of illegal recruiting.
It was shocking, and it was a blow, but at the same time, when you build your career on character, and people know what kind of person you are, and they know your character, and they know what kind of ethical values that you stand for, you have to understand that you really don't understand why people do the things that they do.
Flowers hasn't given up on the case filed against him, as his counter lawsuit is still pending. But in the meantime, he's Smith Station's greatest resource.
You learn a lot more in one day, like a lot more. I think we are very lucky to actually be able to learn some of the stuff that he taught his other championship teams.
I've had opportunities to coach on the collegiate level, and I've turned those down because I feel like I have a calling.
But Flowers says his biggest accomplishment comes off the field.
I think that the relationships that you build in high school sports is so important. I think I've made an impact. I don't think I have anything to prove. If it ended right now, I would be sad, but I wouldn't have any regrets. I wouldn't do anything differently.
There comes a day when every athlete must face a life without sports. But for Cam Greathouse, that day came sooner than expected.
I felt real empty. It took a couple days to sink in, the fact that I was over.
Just 2 years after being drafted in the 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft, Greathouse was released by the Chicago Cubs.
At first I was like, they just released me. Oh, no big deal. But then a couple days later I was like, whoa, hold up. Baseball's pretty much over for me. I got to find a new path in life.
Prior to his stint in professional baseball, Greathouse was a star athlete over at Shaw High School. He excelled not only in baseball but also in football, where he was the starting quarterback for the Raiders' powerhouse program in the late 2000s.
I used to pride myself on calling myself Little Tebow back in high school. I actually wrote Tebow on the back of my practice jersey.
When being an athlete is part of your identity for so long, sometimes it's hard to give it up quickly.
I'm so competitive that I'll compete with my little brother playing, eating cereal. I'm gonna finish the bowl first.
Enter an old friend with a new idea. Greathouse could use his remaining college eligibility to try his hand at quarterback over at Fort Valley State.
Back in January, Deron Furr, a buddy of mine that played at Carver, he called me and he said, hey man, we need a quarterback down here. The coach started calling me, and then I was like, man, these guys are serious. Went down there and visit, and I was like, man, I might as well give it a shot.
Greathouse has spent this summer trying to make the most of his second chance as an athlete, sticking to a 5-day schedule of throwing and lifting.
I tell you, I took pro ball for granted, like during the off-season stuff, because I had a real good first season, and I was like, I ain't got to lift. I don't have to do any of this stuff. But them guys giving me a football chance has really it's opened me up to knowing that I can't screw up no more. You know, I gotta work out. I gotta do the little things.
Same offensive coordinator that he had, Gus Malzahn's now at Auburn. Would that make you consider Auburn?
Yeah, that'll make me consider them a lot.
So, this rush offense is really clicking on all cylinders, and they told me after the game that it really helps to have that triple option almost, because you can have a fresh set of legs coming in on any moment. So those big explosive plays, they're coming here, there. Well, coincidentally, some of the biggest stories from those teams were the biggest stories out of the whole SEC Media Days. For Auburn, you had head coach Gus Malzahn taking the podium for the first time as a head coach, and you couldn't contain the excitement people had, the fans, for him as a new head coach. And also Alabama looking for the three-peat, and Nick Saban talking about the biggest threat to his team, not on the field but off the field, when he talks about complacency. And as far as Georgia goes, they're talking about losing 8 starters on the defense, but they're ready to go because they have one of the best offenses and backfields in the whole country. Coach, a big smile on your face coming off the field, and what does this win mean for you and the team in general, getting off on the right foot?
I'm just so proud of our guys.
And this Auburn backfield sure looks strong tonight. What's the potential for this Auburn run game?
We're trying to be the number one backfield in the country, so we're going to keep working and try to fulfill that goal.
And the series after you fumble, Coach puts you back in, gives you the ball. What does that say about Coach and his confidence in you? Does that make you feel good?
Yeah, he told me, he was like, I could trust you with the ball, and I had to do what I had to do. I made a mistake, and we overcame adversity.
And lots of energy, lots of smiles on the sideline. Does it feel different this year?
Yeah, it's a new day. Coach Malzahn, that's his slogan, and it's a new day.
And we share a birthday month. I just had a birthday too.
Did you really?
So February is a good month.
It is a very good month. What February what?
19th. And Babe No, I'm a Pisces on the first day. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm on the Aquarius.
The fighting continues.